The point is, they'd rescue you without a second thought. Will you please help rescue them in a home fire emergency? For those of you that have been fortunate enough to have a pet or have a pet now, you know they're loyal, protective to a fault, and give you their unconditional love, but are totally helpless in a home fire when left by themselves. So please join our mission to help fight pet and home fire tragedies. They are 100% preventable. Now, my lead-in question is your home smoke detectors pet safe, or the smoke detectors of a friend or any family member that you know, are their smoke detectors pet safe? Let me ask you a ridiculous question. Does it make any sense at all to install a smoke detector that when it activates, it automatically causes a security gate to go across every door and window in your house so you couldn't exit the home? Would that make any sense at all? Of course not. But that's exactly what happens when you have a smoke detector that activates when it's just your pets alone at home. They're not capable of getting out of any door and window that's locked, and therefore you have a serious situation at hand. And that's why we exist. Fire Rescue for Pets. We're unique. You're not going to find another one like us anywhere in the country. We're the leader. We're the innovator. We're the people most dedicated to protecting pets in the USA. 145 million pets that possibly face that dangerous scenario every day of their life. God forbid if a fire should ever strike their home when they're alone. The outcome could be catastrophic. In the USA, over 2,500 people die annually in residential fires. But 20 times more, that's 50,000 pets, die in home fires each year. That's 2,000% more than people. That's more pets dying in home fires than people that die in car accidents every year. Or that's more pets dying in home fires than people overdosing and dying from heroin every year. So let's go to what really we're here today about, and that's job and where you can go on your job. Is there an education available to you that can help improve your financial wherewithal in life? I know money's not the only thing that's important, but certainly money can buy a lot of things. Even if you're miserable, having money while you're miserable makes it easier to live with. Here's one thing I want to tell you about a job. All right, you know, the initials JOB. When I was a young man, I understood that a job, a JOB, stood for just over broke, and that if you really wanted to get ahead, you could make a commitment to developing something that can go to work for you in the long run, as opposed to going to work for somebody. Because most of us just simply exchange our time for money. And that's why when you answer these ads on Snag a Job and they want to hire 25 people this month at one of the fast food restaurants, you're exchanging your time for money, plain and simple. There's not really any education that's going to take you to the next level. And the one thing I can tell you right now, when I was young, I was fortunate to be around some very, very talented people. And the one thing I did learn is that in the beginning, it's not what you earn that was important, but it was what you learned. Specialized, refined knowledge that can take you to the next level. And that's exactly what we offer in our program. But before I do that, let me just say one last thing about help wanted ads or opportunities and your search for the perfect job for your current situation. One other type of ad that's very common online, and you see thousands of these, if you have an online presence, you get solicited every day by people claiming that you can make a fortune on online marketing, and that all you got to do is follow their recipe because they have the trade secrets on exactly how to make money, and for only $29.95 or $19.95 or some kind of payment program, they want you to basically sign up so they can give you the secrets to success. I refer to this as pick and shovel opportunity ads. And there's a reason why I call it pick and shovel. Some of you, if you're familiar with history, may remember in 1849 in California, we had this major phenomenon called the gold rush. It's where all the folks out east packed up their wagons, borrowed their last dollar, and went westward to the state of California to try to find their fortunes in the gold mines. And the whole idea was to try to strike it rich. And notice I said a few got rich, because the fact is, most who went west to find their fortune went flat broke trying to dig, and many were despondent and couldn't even pay their fare to come back from the west and settle there, absolutely broke with nothing in their pockets. And for those who worked hard, who used their pick and shovel to dig all day and all night, hours and hours and weeks and months at a time, and if they were fortunate enough to understand a little bit about the lay of the land in the creek beds and where exactly gold was to be most likely found, a few people did strike it rich. And the majority who did get rich, of the few that went out and set out on their adventure for riches, the majority who did get rich, they got rich selling wagon loads of picks and shovels, the tools that everyone needed to find gold. And therefore, the analogy is the people that are selling you the pick and shovels, the how-to manuals online, the specific courses, the trade secret courses, they're the ones making all the money. People buying the courses, they're just getting further behind and getting poorer and poorer by the day, because there's a lot of people online professing to know the answers, and they really don't. As far as our target market, pet owners are a very large market in the United States of America. Pet ownership right now is a $58 billion industry. I know there's many different industries to look at, the automotive industry, cell phone industry. I can go on and on with a list, but the one point I want to emphasize about pet owners is that they're a very emotionally attached group, and they're very dedicated to the health and welfare of their pets. I know personally, I have 2 dogs that are both 9 years old. They're from the same litter. To me, I have 4 children of my own, but when you add in my 2 dogs, I actually have 6 children. That's how I feel about pets. If you feel that same way as I do, as so many millions of Americans do, then this is going to be a very, very interesting market for you as well. I'd like to bring to your attention as well the size of the pet ownership market in the United States. Here in the United States, there's over 133 million households. These are homeowners or apartment dwellers. And of those 133 million households, 32.3%, almost 1 out of 3, own a dog. That's 43,300,000 dog owners. The average number of dogs that are owned per household is about 1.6. And so therefore the number of dogs in the United States right now is 69,280,000. The size of the cat owner market in the United States, of these 133 million existing households, the number of people that own cats is roughly 27.2%, or 36,117,000. However, the average number of cats per household is a little bit more than dogs, 2.1 cats per household. Therefore, the total number of cats in the U.S. is a little bit more than dogs, 75,810,000. And finally, if you add the number of cats and dogs together in these 133 million households in the United States of America, the total number of cats and dogs is 145,090,000, which is a little bit more than 1 dog or cat per household in the USA. So as you can see, it's a sizable, very dedicated market. Here's a quick human interest story. In the top left-hand corner here, you see the article says, Senior Pooch. He's still wagging his tail after 20 years. This is the first dog that I ever had. My mother and I were driving down the highway, about 50, 60 miles an hour, on a 4-lane highway with a yellow dividing line. And up ahead, we see this dog laying on the yellow line, panicked that we're about ready to see a disaster strike. We pulled alongside the dog. We slowed down from 50 miles an hour down to 0. He ran underneath our car, but fortunately for us, in this crazy busy highway, coming from the opposite direction was a young man in his military uniform who saw what was happening, pulled his car alongside us, got out, crawled underneath our car, and pulled out my dog Casey and put him in our back seat. That's how we first met. We had taken him to the vet. He was approximately 6 to 7 months old, they guesstimate. We tried to find his rightful owner. We advertised, we couldn't find him, so we kept him. 20 years, close to 20 years after that date, he turned 20, and I called the local newspaper in our county and saw an article there about the woman that was writing an article consistently every week for the paper had received a prestigious award from Cal-Can, which was a pet food manufacturer back in the day. And they were having glowing terms talking about her dedication to pets and her pet column for, like, I believe it was close to 30 years. I called her, asked her if she ever met a 20-year-old dog in her life. She said no. I invited her to come out. She came out, and to my surprise, she brought a photographer with her, and they shot a couple pictures. And I thought the next week in the paper we were going to see maybe a small little column in her pet column about my dog Casey. But instead, it was a double full-page article. And it was a beautiful article written really as a dedication to my mother, who I had the dog for the first 6, 7 years, and then I went to college, and then I moved away once I graduated college, and my mother, from maybe the last 10 years of my dog Casey's life, was his dedicated caregiver. She was dedicated like no one else ever could be. The last 3 or 4 years of his life, she never ever left him alone. Unless she went to the grocery store. She refused to take a vacation. It actually got to the point we thought it was ridiculous that she wouldn't leave him for any reason. And having him in my life was truly a blessing. I say that because I know there's a lot of you out there that have had pets have similar stories. And just the thought to me, and I say this to you, just so you can understand where my feelings are, the thought that I could ever lose someone like Casey in a fire would be absolutely beyond my imagination and pure devastation. I like the business I'm in because it's an emotional business for me, because I really do love animals as much as I say that I do. And if you're of like mind and spirit, this can be a great place for you as well. The one constant in life, and the same in the job market, you can always count on is change. Things are always evolving. We live more and more in an international global marketplace. And here's a couple points I want to make to you. There's a website, for example, called Fiverr, Fiverr.com. Anything for $5. It's the largest marketplace, they say, of certain services that you can get. For example, if you're a small business, an entrepreneur, and you want your business to grow, to succeed. I wanted to make mention here that on Fiverr, you can get almost anything you want done if you have an online presence for pennies. And I know there's a motto out there today that says, let's make America great again. Well, the point I'm making here is that the way things were 20, 30 years ago, it's going to be very, very hard for us to ever get back to that same idea that we're going to have this bucket of jobs and opportunities here in manufacturing in America. And that's because, first of all, forget international influence. Let's just talk about robotics and automation. 60, 70%, even 80% of jobs in certain industries have been replaced by robots and by automation. All the factories that used to exist here in the United States and all the people that used to support them, I'm talking about everyone that would build the factories, all the mechanics that would be in adding equipment, changing equipment, repairing equipment, All these jobs have left the shores of the United States and gone overseas. Fiverr is an example that I wanted to point out to you about a niche in work and in workplace opportunities that is changing the face of the way things are done in this country. Here's a general ad when you go to Fiverr that you'll find on the website. Bring your idea. We'll handle the rest. Start, run, and grow your business on Fiverr. Freelancers at your service. These are people who just work independently, by the job, piecemeal. They also call it gigs. Professional sellers, millions of gigs. 100,000 sellers, 24-hour delivery, unbeatable value, a global marketplace for creative and digital services. And that's quoted right out of one of the biggest computer magazines in the world, PCMag.com. 5-star logo designs, top graphic designers, voiceover professionals. About 2 years ago, a friend of mine had a very nice website done. It was about 5 or 6 pages. He paid a local businessman to design the website for him, and I got to admit, it was a very sharp-looking website. He spent about $1,500 to have it done. The guy finished it in a reasonable quick time frame, about a week or 10 days. And it was not a simple website. It had a lot of intricate parts to it. I mean, there was a lot of apps. There was certain things, shopping cart. There's things in it that weren't just a typical simple website that he paid a premium to have it done. Well, as the story goes, another third-party friend of ours called up Fiverr, was in the same related business as this guy who had this $1,500 website, went to Fiverr and said, I want you to make this exact same website. Tell me how much it's going to cost. About an hour later, they came back and said it's going to cost $30. He says, go ahead and do it. He paid the $30. He said, are you going to be able to finish it in like a week? And they go, oh, no, that's a rush job. That's going to be $60. So he says, go ahead and do it. And between a little adds, a little subtractions, things that he modified a little bit, at the end, in about 10 days' time, he had this beautiful website finished and completed for $80. His friend spent $1,500. He had it done for $80. That's what Fiverr is doing to the industry. So my point to you, and it's something that I think is very important that you understand why these dynamics and why these price cuttings are existing, and why anyone who thinks America is going back to this old business model is sorely mistaken. You're not going to be able to turn back the clock on this, and let me tell you why. The reason why things aren't going back to our old business model is because, again, 7.5 billion people on the planet. If you learn anything, learn this one point that I'm going to make here on this page. 1/3 of the planet makes less than $1 a day. That's $1 a day. This is the poorest side of all societies. People that can barely feed themselves, poor nutrition, poor health, just an absolute misery of existence. In the middle is another third of the world population that makes between $1 and $2 a day. I know a guy in Bangladesh. Bangladesh happens to be a country with about 180, don't quote me, but it's close to 180 million people that live in an area about the size of New Jersey. It's amazingly the most dense piece of real estate in the globe. There's many people that live in Bangladesh, which is right on the right side of India. He has a sheet manufacturing. He manufactures sheets, like the sheets that you sell to motels and hotels and so forth. He's got about 240, 250 people that work inside of his factory. The average wage there is about $18 per month, which is about $4.50. Let's call it $4 a week, 4.3 weeks in a month. $4 a week. If they work 40-hour weeks, they're making 10 cents an hour. They're making not even $1 a day, less than $1 a day. So you got very poor, 1/3 of the world planet making under $1. You got the middle third of the planet making between $1 and $2 a day, and that's highlighted in pink for a reason, because I want you to pay attention to what I'm telling you. The top third make over $2, anything from $2 to $2 million. I mean, it's anything above the $2 mark is a third of the planet. Go to the middle here, the people making between $1 and $2. Let's talk about manufacturing for a moment. Let's go to China. most heavily, thickest populated country in the world. They have factories, ultra modern, beautiful factories, designed and put together with a lot of oil from the Middle East, a lot of money from oil in the Middle East. In these factories where so much of the goods we have in this country are made. Go to a dollar store in this country. I dare you to go find a dollar store with 80 to 90% of what's inside of it isn't made inside of China. I mean, it is going to be made inside of China. They have workers there that for 50, 60 cents, 70 cents an hour, they're willing to work 10, 15-hour days for 50, 60, 70 cents an hour, okay? Because that's making them $8, $9 a day. That's a fortune to them. And they have not lines around the block. They got lines around the cities waiting to take those types of jobs. That's manufacturing. That's why China's been so dominant. Second point is that in that middle third, making between $1 and $2, it's the niche that Fiverr goes after. In order to do business in one of the largest and most successful economies in the world, which is called the USA, you must be able to speak English. So India, which has 1.3 billion people, English is a second language. I mean, of the 100 years or so of British occupation in India, the one thing they gave them was the English language. And most people from India speak, not all, but most speak very good English. Second, go to the Philippines, where most Filipinos today speak very, very good English. I have many people I know from Pakistan. Some of these people on Fiverr that I've dealt with are from Pakistan. They speak good English. And if they don't necessarily speak good English, they write and they can communicate via text or email very easily. That is the world that is servicing Fiverr. That is the people willing to work for $5 to $10 a day. And you're trying to get into their same compatible businesses or competing businesses, thinking that you're going to make several $100s a day. I'm not saying there's not a web designer out there that can't make some money, but look at all the forces working against you. It is very, very tough to be in that business today because the global economy and the labor force out there willing to work for pennies on the dollar for what U.S. citizens are willing to work for. Well, again, it's not a good equation necessarily if you think America is going to go back to where it was 20 or 30 years ago, because I'm just building my case here for you. You can go and do your own investigative reporting. All right, what I'm telling you is the facts. And if you've never heard them, listen to them, because they are going to be influential in your future. So that's why I bring it to your attention here. So my advice to you is simply this: be smart. Be smart. Why compete against global markets doing the same task for 1/10 the USA price points? It eventually all catches up. If you're in that business of trying to design or do internet work or website design or graphics or anything in that area, although you may think it's the future, you will never get ahead because there is a market out there waiting to do the work for 1/10 the desired price that you'd like to get for that service if you were doing it here for these businesses in USA. Is where should I focus my career? Not building the vehicle. And what I mean by that is when you're developing websites or you're doing the artwork, the graphic work, or you're doing all this creative work that the rest of the world is willing to do for pennies on the dollar, that's not where you want to focus. You don't want to focus on building the vehicle, but instead what you really want to focus on, you instead want to be focusing on learning how to drive the vehicle, not learning how to build a car. You want to learn how to drive the car and also how to properly maintain it. This is an analogy. What I'm saying is you're not interested in working in a factory or putting fenders together where you're putting the chassis on top of the axles and the drivetrain and the transmission. That's not what you want to learn how to do. You want to learn how to get behind the wheel of that car and drive it, and how to properly maintain it, how to put gas in it, how to change the oil, how to maintain the tire pressure, because that's the important part of getting ahead, is learning how to use the internet as a tool that you can drive to get to the place you want to be. The Wall Street Journal says digital marketing is a $62 billion industry, doubling in size every 4 years. It's massive, and it's just getting bigger. And really what you want to learn how to drive is this term called traffic. People that are interested or at least willing to take a look at whatever product or service that you have. You want to learn how to drive traffic and then the proper way to get that traffic to convert to potential customers. That is what we call the art of the deal. That's a Donald Trump term. Not that I want to quote Donald Trump, but at the end, you got to learn how to drive traffic and learn how to convert that traffic. And it is an art and a science together. And I don't need any money, don't need any fees, I'm not looking to be a pick and shovel person. But if you're seriously interested in learning how to drive traffic and how to convert it, you are absolutely listening to the right person at this moment. This program is for you if you're constantly thinking you want to make money online. And if that even remotely sounds like you, then a lot of things in your world are about to change. Now remember, we're not a pick and shovel opportunity seller. We never charge a fee or any cost to join our company. And I'm not in the business of teaching online skills in order to be successful in life. I'm in the pet rescue and fire rescue for pet, as well as the fire rescue for people business. It just so happens that having those set of tools under your belt, of being the kind of person who can find their way around the internet properly and learn how to drive the internet digital age marketing kit, is going to help you develop the right types of skills to get ahead with not only this company, but any company that you're ever affiliated with. So let's be clear about that. I'm not in the business of teaching people how to be successful online. I'm in the business of teaching people how to be successful in the fire rescue for pet and people business. It just so happens that I have to teach you these skills. If my goal is to help you get further ahead in the fire rescue business, you need to have a deepened and expanded base of knowledge in the online world and the tools that take you there. So that's why it's an integral part of our program. A key word to our success is the word video. And video is absolutely revolutionizing the online world. You don't have to look far. Words like or channels like YouTube, Facebook, video calling. I mean, there's so many different examples of video marketing and video technology that has hit the market here in the last several years that have created a tsunami of influence in various businesses, and we're no different than that. We are definitely being dramatically affected by video and the use of video in promoting our company and our product. Staying on the video success theme, our key to success is our online video that we call our Home Fire Safety Clinic. This simple video shows exactly what the misconceptions about fire are in the American home today for both people and pets. It presents a very, very strong case about how 90% of the smoke detectors in America aren't going to be able to help you in a nighttime type fire. Synthetic materials has created a much more dangerous environment for fire in the home compared to 5, 10, 20 years ago. And that automatic calling, the ability to get help there automatically, is crucial, especially when there's low oxygen in the home, or if you're in a situation where you're just filled with panic and fear and you can't dial 911 on your own. The video does a very thorough job. People see the video, they understand exactly what they're up against, they see our simple smoke guardian solution, and a vast majority of them would like to become customers of ours. So if you haven't done so already, you should have been able to watch this video on the very first time you went to our website. But if not, you haven't seen it, you can go to firerescueopportunity.com, as it's written at the bottom of the page here, and make sure you understand the material that's inside that video, because it's crucial for your success to understand all those facts. Here are some industry facts. Major technology developments in this industry has happened over the last 6 months. This is very, very important because fire safety industry is not new in this country, but this new technology is definitely a game changer. One of the real reasons why it's a game changer is because it provides a technology now to the American home that is literally almost pennies on the dollar what people were previously paying for something similar in technology. So this opportunity is massive because this is really a hidden, untapped marketplace. As I just previously stated, that there's a hidden market for this product. Our focus group studies have shown that less than 10% of the people polled showed any interest in our auto calling smoke detectors in the beginning. However, that being said, once they previewed our online video, which we call our Home Fire Safety Clinic, over 82% showed strong interest in the product. So there's a case here about educating people about the need for this product. People make new decisions based on new information, and that video that we present to them does exactly that, provides them with the new information for them to make a new decision that benefits their home, their family, and their pets. We are absolutely in the first phase of the product cycle. This is what's known as next generation technology. People aren't looking for it, but once they're exposed to its many advantages or educated about it, that's when they want to have it. Total peace of mind, automated response. Once your home is protected with Smoke Guardian, whenever there's a problem, it would automatically send a cellular link directly to our monitoring center. 24 hours a day, we would contact the fire department on your behalf to have emergency teams come to your door ASAP to help rescue your pet or family members. Total peace of mind, 24 hours a day. Smoke Guardian, powerful, easy to use protection. Comes with a 3-year lithium battery, works right out of the box, no programming needed, portable, follows you wherever you move to. Lifetime protection. Now let me show you how absolutely affordable it is to protect your home, family, and pets with our most popular 3 photoelectric auto calling, auto responding smoke detector package. The reason why this package is our most popular, because people typically will get this package to put 1 smoke detector in their basement, 1 into their first floor, and 1 into the second floor. Or you may be on 1 level with a garage, and you'll put 1 smoke detector in a garage, 1 in one end of the house, and 1 in the opposite end of the house. I mean, you can be very flexible here. The design is, if for example, you might need a smoke detector in your basement and in your garage, as well as your first and second floor, then you would opt up to our 4 smoke detector package. But for right now, let me just stick with our most popular package, which is 3 smoke detectors. It's only $99.95. $99.95. That's complete. There's no other additional charges. There's no sales tax added in. It's a one-time charge for a lifetime of protection. That means if something happened to this equipment 5 years from now, we would replace it at absolutely no cost to you. All we ask is that you're a monitored customer of ours in order for us to honor our lifetime warranty on this equipment. So the 24-hour monitoring for 3 smoke detectors, as previously shown to you, it's only $19.95. So to get started, it's just $99.95 for the equipment and $19.95 for the first month of monitoring. That's a grand total of $119.90 to get started for complete fire communication protection packaging. And that is the finest that money can buy to protect your home, family, and pets against fire.
Is Fido home alone right now? Most likely your biggest fears when you leave your pet are related to bathroom accidents or getting into last night's lasagna. But what about a fire? If you're hearing this message, then you are likely not at home with your pet. What would happen if your smoke detector went off right now? It's something you probably never think about, but the damage to your beloved pet from smoke inhalation or fire could be catastrophic. Well, you never have to worry again, because Smoke Guardian will. Welcome to Smoke Guardian. Smoke Guardian's detectors have a built-in 4G cellular chip capable of calling for help even when you're not at home. SmokeGuardian.com. When smoke is detected, Smoke Guardian's monitoring team summons help immediately and alerts your cell phone at the same time. While we hope you never need our help, it's always nice to know we're here. Fido will appreciate it. Take advantage of limited time discounts at SmokeGuardian.com. SmokeGuardian.com. Protect your pets when they're home alone. SmokeGuardian.com.
So you have just basically gone through a truckload of information. And I think it's important that you have that information at hand, because in this business, I wanted you to understand the overall concept of what we do and why you can be successful if you follow certain principles. Now it's time to be more specific. So the last part of this, if you want to learn how to really work online and become a very dedicated part of our Fire Rescue for Pets and Humans Too theme organization, you can do this job. You can work from home. You don't need to come into an office every day. It's ideal for people who are seeking out just some extra part-time income. Let's say you're currently working and you're looking for some flexibility to earn some extra money. A couple $100 here, a couple $100 there, it all adds up. Because I know that the demands of everyday society today on overhead for an individual or a small family or a large family is quite significant. You don't need a vehicle to do this work. You have complete online training that you'll be invested and plugged into. No cold calling. I am looking, and we are looking for regional and district manager people to fill positions, and they're going to proven performers. I will only take the people who know how to do this and do it well and promote them, because I'll never ask anybody to lead anybody unless they were a proven performer in what they're asking anyone underneath them to do. And truthfully, you never really have people working for you. If you're a successful manager, you do all the things that your people need to find success, whether it's knowledge or resources that you give them. You actually work for them. So my next step would be this. So the next step is for you to leave us your name, email, as well as your phone number that we can easily reach you and contact you at. What's important here is that you understand the material that we've covered in these videos. The material in these videos were put together for a purpose. That was to give you a real understanding of what the position is, as far as what it is that we do. The way that we do it is something that we're going to go over in great detail to those that we select for the position. But if you do not understand what happens in the American home with fire, then I would say just raise your hand and separate yourself from this position before you even begin. Because I'm looking for someone who understands the material that was presented to them, and we will quiz you on that material. It's very important that you understand it in detail. And then for those candidates, we'll sit down and have a good discussion about your future and where you can go with American Protection. So thank you so much. Look forward to talking to some of you in person. Thanks again.